Hey guys, it's Lily Rubio. Welcome to tonight's team call. I'm so excited to have all you guys here. I love seeing your beautiful faces, and it just fills me up for the week. Just us being able to be here together, supporting, encouraging each other in our journeys as coaches. And I'm starting something new this month, which Krysta is the beginning. It's going on into April. You're going to be getting some messages from me if you're Emerald and above, because you ladies are going to be hosting our team calls. So you should be, if you haven't received an invitation, you will soon. I have a couple tricks up my sleeve for some of you, but Krysta was the very first one. She was at my house, and I'm like, sister, are you ready to host your first team call? I don't know if you guys know, but Krysta is my sister, and she has definitely, it's been amazing to have like one of your best friends closest to you just support you in this journey. And she's had her ups and downs, which she's going to share with us today. But all along the way, through her struggles, through her doubts, she's still here. And luckily for her, she's my sister, and I just refuse to not let her quit. I don't know what the word, but just I believe in her so much. Just I believe in so many of you guys, but I believe in her so much because I know her gifts, her talents, everything that she has to offer. So when I know that personally, I'm like, girl, you have what it takes for this business. Don't lose sight of that. And so I am so happy she's here today. You guys are going to feel a little bit of that spirit that I feel, which is why I encourage and push her so much. But first, I do want to give it up to Lori Ravinsky. If everyone could just go like this. She is SC8 this month, rocking it. She was part of the push group, which was our upline sponsors, Christina Delgado, Becky. They hosted a big push to diamond. Lori was so close to getting there, but she's our next diamond right here. This girl is killing it. She's definitely someone you want to follow on social media. She has a passion for Beachbody, and I just love her. She inspires me. So blessed to have her on our team. Next, Lindsay Cobb came out here in Miami. She earned the diamond rank in that push group, and she won a mini iPad for being part of that. Whoop, whoop. Round of applause for Lindsay. And just Lindsay, really quick, I just want you to share with us just kind of like your experience here. Just what were some of the things going through your mind? Did you ever think this would be you flying to Miami and being pampered? Talk to us, girl.
Oh my gosh, it was awesome.
I can't hear you.
I feel like I was gone. Am I on mute?
Okay. Can you guys hear her?
Yes.
What the heck?
If you can hear us.
Okay, go ahead. If they can hear you, that's fine. I can't hear any of you.
Can you hear me at all?
So am I going to even hear Krysta? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, Lindsay, talk.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Go.
Are you there?
My volume was down. Duh. Okay.
Okay. It was kind of surreal. It was like, first of all, I felt like I was there for 5 days. We just did so much awesome stuff. Like in hindsight, I'm like, how did we do all that in 2 days? But it was amazing. And I never really imagined that I would progress and get to do something that kind of cool. Like it was really a neat treat. It was awesome. It was really cool.
Yes. You know, when Lindsay saw that we had announced this, she was like, you know, should I buy my ticket? And I was like, heck yeah, girl, buy that ticket. And so it did require a little leap of faith because she wasn't diamond yet, but it pushed her to do that harder. Wendy treated us to a weekend at a hotel, and it was awesome. She took us to dinner. We had photo shoots. We did our makeup, our hair. And it's just amazing. I hope to do this with you girls. Like, one of the things I wanted to share, and I was going to share this earlier, was that, you know, I've only known Lindsay from online. But we were able to just click right away. Of course, our love for Beachbody, family, just everything. And so many of you guys, I just want you to know our friendships are real, guys. We connect here online, but I look forward to the day meeting you guys and just bonding, and it's so amazing. So All right, guys, I'm so thankful you are here. Welcome, Abby. Hey. Cheeky, showing love. Yay. All right, guys, so we're going to turn the time over to Krysta. Today she's going to be sharing with us just how to find yourself, in this journey, how to tell your story. With no further ado, let's turn it over to Krysta, who just left us. All right, I'm going to mute myself, Krysta, but first, I want you to start off briefly by telling us, a little bit about you and how you got started with Beachbody, and then segue into your topic.
Hi, everyone. I'm Krysta, and I am so excited to be here. Thank you for giving me of your time, because I know we all love listening to Lily, and I do too. She always has great insights, and I really hope you can get something out of this. I'm so proud of you, because although we're like online buddies, I see Lindsay, I see Lori, and I see everybody just cheering each other on, and I'm like, aw, we're friends, and we haven't even met each other, so that's so great. And since I know some of you, but most of you don't know me, so I'll just do a brief introduction. I'm a mother, and my son's 2 going on 3 pretty soon. I am also a teacher. I went and I taught for 2 years. Right after that, I became a stay-at-home mom, something that I didn't picture myself doing. And I went through that, and it was one of the most beautiful moments and challenging at the same time for me. And during that time, I joined Beachbody as a fitness coach, and I'm like, here I go, doing sales. I know exactly how to do this. Because since I was 12, my dad, well, Lily can tell you, he was constantly like this entrepreneur, always in the business. And I had to like learn how to negotiate and sell and talk to people. And both my parents taught me a lot about like having good relationships with people, treating them how they would like to be treated, and just caring about someone. So this was like, yeah, this is another chance. I guess I'll make the money. And it became something much more to me that added to finding myself, which was incredible. And today, so I became a Beachbody coach end of February. And today, March 28th, I became an Emerald coach. So in less than a month, I became an Emerald coach. And here I am today, like giving you a talk. But it's not, the focus of this is going to be more on finding yourself and how this could relate to our business, this could relate to ourselves. And why, so I'm thinking here, I'm like, Lily, why am I qualified to do this? So let me tell you, I come from a big family. We're a lot of people. And compared to a lot of my sisters and family members, I felt like I was very reserved. I kept to myself. So finding myself was always something that I felt I reflected on, like very often. And 10 years ago, I was 17 years old and I graduated high school, and I had to make a lot of decisions that led me into then getting an education and having this moment to discover myself. So let's start on that topic. You know how you have those moments where you're like listening to something at the right time, in the right place, and in the right moment? That happened to me, and I actually like brought my little like journal out because I wrote it down. I was like, I need to write this down. This is like speaking to me right now. And this is what it says, because I'm going to share that with you. It was so cool. And it was a line that stood out to me, and it said, live your life to fill the measure of your creation. And so I'm like, whoa, okay, what is my measure of my creation? What is my purpose? And then now that I look back, I feel we put too much pressure on ourselves to try to find our purpose, or to have this like, there's this one big moment in our lives that we're going to find our purpose, boom. No, like it doesn't happen that way. And I don't know, like now in hindsight, I'm like, hello, why are we even so concerned about having this big one insightful like moment or this big epiphany? It's ongoing, and it's going to keep happening. And it's going to be a lifelong journey of learning and of discovery and so much more. So to find yourself, I was thinking of 3 things that we need and that I found that helped me in everything, in my success and in everything that I've done. And it is, first of all, how are we going to find ourselves if we don't get to know ourselves? And we miss this point a lot, like when we're first meeting a friend, or when you're trying to when you're dating or in any situation, you first have to get to know the person. So why don't we get to know ourselves too? And that's the first thing we need to do. So how do you get to know yourself, your personality? Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your abilities? I simplified this and tried to make it a lot easier. And the way that I did this, I said, okay, so the first thing we need to find ourselves is to get to know ourselves. So start thinking of things that are going to get your juices flowing, like I like to say. So what are some things that people compliment you on? Think about that. What are some things that you do for your friends or your family? What are some of those things that you're like, I could spend hours doing this and I have no problem. Like, I actually enjoy doing this and I could spend hours just sitting here and doing this. For me, it happens to be writing. I could spend hours just writing. I love writing. I'm a blogger. And I haven't really pursued it so deeply, but I do love writing. I could spend hours. I enjoy it. I enjoy just reflecting and writing. Another thing that you could ask yourself, and I'm going to look down at my notes because I just was writing this. It was all coming to me. I'm like, yes, this is exactly how I started like going on those steps of like finding myself. And it's like, if somebody were to ask you, okay, quick, tell me what are some of the things that you like? Like, you're like, I like a lot of things. Hold on, where do I start? How many of you have had those moments where you're like, I like my family. I like going outside. I like the beach. So one of the easiest ways to know what you do like is to actually look at the opposite and think about the things that you do not like. Like, for example, I don't like, it could be as random as like, I don't like bullying. I don't like messes. I like food. So you just start, thinking of these things that get your juices flowing. And then I'm going to make it even easier for you. And you could do this now, or you could write it down, take out your phone, or just write these tabs down. But you got a piece of paper. And all of you see this? I split it into 6 sections, right? And you don't have to write it so big because you're going to fill it in. The first section are your talents, gifts, and skills. And this is going to take some time. Don't think that you're going to just write them all down in 1 minute. Take your time. What are your talents, gifts, and skills? And then from there, you can move on and start seeing, okay, what are some of the things that I like? And then you could go deeper into, okay, what are my hopes, dreams, desires? And from that, you get your mission. What is my mission? And then from your mission, you start discovering like, oh, what is my why? What is my purpose? What is my driving force behind this all? And then from that, you could come to discover who you are. So let's start just very briefly on that. So for example, I'll share mine with you. I started thinking, okay, what are my skills? I realized that to me, teaching comes very naturally. So I could teach, I could simplify things. And that is one of my skills. Another one of my skills is, let's see, I'm a passionate speaker. So when I speak about something, I tend to like I tend to like send this emotion to people, and people understand it and get it and feel something off of it. So again, I start seeing that and I'm like, okay, what other gifts and talents? And if you can't think of it, ask people that are closest to you. They could definitely tell you, and start jotting this down. From there, I started thinking, well, okay, what are some things that I like? And I even wrote them down. So I'm going to practice what I preach here. So I started writing some things that I like. And I went on here and I'm like, okay, what are some things I like? Okay, I like inspiring quotes. I like laughing. So do you see, it doesn't have to be so deep and philosophical. It could just start from very basic things. I like blogging. I like creating graphics on the computer. I like good jokes. I like sports. And then from there, we go to the next little square on your paper where you say, okay, from there, what are my hopes, dreams, and desires? So listen to this. I just started writing away. And from there, I'm like, okay, I love family time. I'm a woman of faith. I know that I'm a speaker. I know that I like to stand up for what is right. I like to stand up for people. because when I was younger, I was a little more quiet. So now I'm like, no, this is what I stand up for. So then what are my hopes and dreams and desires? What am I going to make out of this? How do I use this in my business? And then I truly thought to myself, well, I can't just think of like selling to people. I can't just think of like, okay, here you go, you come to me and I'm the expert here. No, how could like I contribute to humanity, in other words? So my hopes, and I'll list some of them with you. I put in here, I want to help everyone to find that love for themselves, to discover their divine nature and purpose. And in my blog, I put like my writing is focused on like everybody getting physically, mentally, and spiritual fit. And that goes with me. That goes with my story, which I'll get into it with the story in just a few. I have the teaching background, and I'm very passionate about a school. And I don't like when the education is focused so much on testing. Oh, I just went there. And I want schools to actually help us with personal development. How cool would it be if like your books were, hey, your homework for today is a personal development book, like The Compound Effect, go read it, and that's what we're studying. Like how much better would we get to know ourselves from younger? I want to develop this like school system. I want to get online and I want to help people. I want to help people just be happy and better. And one way to do that is to actually, it starts with themselves. It starts with working on themselves. And this is how it naturally lends itself into my fitness coaching. So I said, wow, I could use this fitness coaching and still pair it up with the things that I'm good at and still, and that I like, and make that my hopes, my dreams, and then make that into a mission. So then I wrote down here, like almost like a mission, like what's my meaningful job? If I had to create this, like this meaningful job status, what would it be? And I put, I want to help people find their mission, their duty. I want to be an influence for good. I want to help people find a job in which they're bettering themselves while not neglecting their family and being financially stable. And then I put in parentheses here, but that's starting with myself and then others. So, okay, none of this is going to happen unless you love yourself and start with yourself first. So this took for me, what it took for me, it took, okay, I need to work on my mental health. So if you're having issues that are still bugging you, I'm a huge advocate for therapy. If you need therapy, everybody can use a little bit of therapy. I use some. Another thing that I'm a huge advocate about, and all of us here are, exercise. That's natural, like happiness. That's a quick like mood changer right there. So exercise, eating right. And some of these things are the things that you can show yourself that you love yourself. And when you love yourself, it is so much easier to love others and to help others. And now, do we have down days or days that we don't feel motivated? Of course. And I have those days as well. So what do we need? We need our why. Why are we doing this? And I'll share some of my own. I put here, I want to be happy. I want to spend time with my family. I also want to enjoy myself. I want to travel. I want to meet people, connect with people. I want an improved education system. I want to be a good influence in my community. I want to leave this legacy behind to my kid and my future kids. I want it to be an example to my family of a better, happier, healthier life. Because imagine if this cycle goes on, and I don't know how many of you have read The Compound Effect. If you haven't, I mean, I just love it because it shows like things over time are going to add up. I want to be able, like, that's my why. I want that to add up to the point where it's like it becomes natural and it becomes this family tradition of just like, we're personal development, exercise, we're helping others, and we can also be financially stable, helping others and doing something that is true to ourselves. And this cannot happen until we find ourselves. And that's where you then define, like, who am I? And you can make that into a statement, put everything together, put your talents, your skills, your passion, your dreams, your desires, and what you really like, what you don't like, put it together, and you can form who you really are. And here's mine, for example. I know it always helps when you have an example. It does for me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's one way to phrase it. Or like, that's kind of like me too. Or you can make it your own. And I put, I am a family-minded entrepreneur driven by my faith and my standards, wanting to live and share a happy, meaningful, and healthy life. And from there, and I could repeat that. I don't know if that's helpful. I am a family-minded entrepreneur driven by my faith and standards, wanting to live and share a happy, meaningful, and healthy life. That's who I am. I found myself. My goodness. And was it this one moment where I found myself, I have it all figured out? No. This is an ongoing process. And this is what defines our story. Our past, our experiences are our story. Everyone has a story, and everyone needs to relate to a story. So I'm going to go into social media here. People don't want to see perfect. They don't. And I struggled with this a bit. I try to copy people. I try to put the most beautiful pictures I had. I try to put like, or sometimes I was all out, just workouts and just good food. But you know, people don't want to see perfect. They want to see mistakes. They want to see someone who they can relate to. And as influencers, because we're all influencers, I feel, and especially now, since most of us are here, this audience is, we're fitness coaches, we're health advocates, we're living healthy lives and leading by example. So if we're doing that, people can't relate to perfect. They want to see that you make mistakes. They want to see how you've turned something bad, or how you've turned your past, your obstacles, into something good and where you are now. And I learned that. And once I learned that, I'm able to tell my story better, and I've been able to blog better, and I've been able to reach more viewers or more people. And, you know, the focus, I've realized at first, was viewers and people and followers. And now that's not even important anymore, because I know that I have found myself by doing those 6 categories. I split it into 6 categories. I found myself, and by first loving on myself and working on myself, humbling myself and learning from those past experiences and making that my story. And that is your story, your past experiences, the things that you love, the things that you've overcome, and where you have come now. And through this story, we're able to help others, because imagine that if you can't help yourself or find yourself, you don't have a story to tell. You don't have that story, which is the one that is going to inspire, which is going to empower. And well, for me, this is my story. I was lost. I had many obstacles come my way. In fact, now I'm pretty open about it. And I shared, if I were to give you a list of how I saw myself before I found myself, was somebody who was depressed, somebody who wasn't that smart. There was other people that were better than me at school, someone who was didn't know what they wanted, who was interested in too many things. And here I am now. I'm a coach. I've accomplished many things. I was the first girl on both sides of my family, like mom and dad, to get a bachelor's degree. I became a teacher out of all things when I thought I wasn't even a good student. And here I am. I became an emerald as a fitness coach, meaning I'm helping other people and other people are helping other people, and they're just uniting. And I did that in less than a month. Like, you know, after I loved myself, humbled myself, and told my story, and was willing to tell my story and to share how I used exercises to focus on being more happy, to rid myself of the negative thoughts, the darkness that I was in. That is my story. That and my family and my why and my likes and my desires, all of that is my story. And you have a story too. Your story could empower people, because people have something they can relate to you. And really, that is all I wanted to share. I hope it was helpful. I do not consider myself the expert by any means, but I do consider myself very passionate about this topic. And I'm just so happy to share it, and so happy that you are here listening too. So thank you, Lily, for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Good job, Krysta. So many golden nuggets. One of the things that stood out to me, first of all, this whole call, you just talked about finding yourself, but like passions that are all outside of Beachbody. And I think that's something that we need to remember when we're doing this. We just think that all of a sudden, like, and this happens to me too, like you can't seem to think of anything else more than Shakeology, your workout. And just like you find yourself just like, you know, even questioning like, well, what do I like? Who am I outside of like, you know, my workouts and stuff? And like, it's easy to forget. You're like, I got to share my journey. But, you know, Krysta shared with us today, like, it's just about finding who we are, what makes us tick, what is those things that just fill us with the most joy, what kind of mark do we want to leave in this world? And, you know, all of us signed up as coaches because we like the idea of helping other people. And so by incorporating all those things that Krysta shared with us, that's how we help other people. Like, sure, it starts with the fitness, but then, you know, as a coach, sometimes you're part therapist, you're a friend, like you're so many things to people. And it's a wonderful way that we get to use all of our gifts, but like fitness kind of draws the people in. And so I love that. I love that you still have, you know, so many passions for other things. It doesn't just have to stay and, you know, only be about Beachbody. So when we're thinking about sharing our journeys and how we want to leave our mark in this world, it starts off like you don't only have to share it from a fitness perspective. You don't only have to share it from, you know, from a Beachbody perspective. You can just start by just sharing, getting a little more personal. And I know it's hard, you guys, like at first, but people want to hear, you know, me and Lindsay were talking about this. Like, we have to just find a way to open up and be raw and show people our imperfections and show people like our struggles. You know, it can't just all, you know, just be a perfect, you know, like a perfect journey. We have to, but then it's not just about what we're going through now. We have to kind of dig deep and take it back. Take me back 10 years ago when, you know, or 15 years ago when you were at school and people used to make fun of you, or when your parents were getting a divorce, or like, what were some of these things in your past that helped shape you to the person who you are now? How have you improved your life, bettered your life? What were some of the mindsets you had to get in, or what were some of the positive affirmations you had to tell yourself to push your way through your obstacles and life challenges and trials? That's what we want to put out there. But even if we didn't talk about putting anything out there, just for your own self, for your own, like, we all need to know who we are. We all need to know what makes us tick. Because I love that quote that says, my favorite quote, can't think of it. If you fall for, never mind. I love this quote. I think it's
like shoot for the moon, and if you fall short, like you'll land on the stars. That one.
I think it's a President Lincoln, like, if you fall for, anyways, never mind.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Thank you. Yes.
Something like that.
That's it. If you don't stand, it just kind of reminds me of that. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So what do you stand for? Who are you? You know, what's something that you would like speak up for? Like, you know, what are those things? Those are the things that like get your blood going. What do you stand for in life, guys? Figure that out. Or what is that? Like, write that down. What do you stand for? Because if you don't stand for something, then you're just going to be tossed here or there. And that's going to affect even what you're doing here in your business. You know, what do you stand for? If not, you're going to be like, oh, look, that coach is doing that. Okay, I'm going to go do this. Or, oh, look, she's got in those. So I'm gonna, like, you're going to be tossed here or there. Like, what do you stand for in your personal life and in this business? Like, who do you want to be? I think it's easy in the beginning to get caught up. Like, you know, we want to emulate and copy. And that's very important in the beginning. It's like we got to get our inspirations from people. But then the time comes that you have to figure out, okay, who am I? It's been fun, you know, following, trying to mimic posts like this person, like my coach, like other people, but who am I, you know? So anyways, guys, thank you, Krysta, so much for sharing that. I know I have a few new coaches and even non-coaches here. And Krysta, before we go, I just want you to share with us how did Beachbody change your life? Like, how could you say this opportunity personally impacted your life?
The truth is that I'm going to be honest. I joined first just to sell and to join a trend and a community, but it helped me develop better habits, if that makes sense. Since joining, I created a better morning routine, better health habits. I've remained happier for longer. And luckily, in my case, I was able to do that just through exercises and eating better. And more importantly than anything, I owe it to just, personal development, because it is molding me to become a better person. And the incredible community and people that I've been surrounded by has impacted me, because I see so many of you here now. I went on the big screen where I could see everybody. Hi, Abby and Caroline. Good to see you too. They're over on my team page, but they joined the call too. And just a lot of us here, like, you're all like friends that I've known in the past, friends that we're just meeting, online friends, new people, new faces. And it's just inspiring to know that we all come from different walks of life, but we all contribute to each other in a way that I was just like, you really are who you surround yourself with. And when you're constantly surrounded yourself by these people that are like, inspirational quote, or like, you can do this, or like, hey, check out what I'm doing, or look how funny this is. It's like, it constantly it just makes life better. Can't you agree?
Yeah, like I have friends, I'll see it all the time. I'm getting off Facebook because I'm tired of the negativity, or I'm getting off Facebook because of drama. And I'm just like, not me. Like, I just, and it does have to do with you create your circle, who are your people. And that's one thing I can agree with, that like the way that I describe this is that I was just injected to just a positive community of like-minded people. And like, you don't get that everywhere. You don't just get positive people around. Like, just turn on the news, okay? Like, positivity is not something we can kind of get in this little bubble, because we are surrounded by so much positivity, but it definitely is not the norm out there. So that was one thing I appreciated. I'm just like, business aside, I am around positive, like-minded people who we talk about personal development, we talk about goals and this, like, that just, it's not the norm. And so I love that too. All right, we have 3 more minutes left. I want to just really quickly, okay, Melissa Chavez, you're our newest, latest coach. Can you just share with us briefly just some of the changes? Like, you're just a few weeks in. What can you say? How is this impacting your life already?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I have seen a huge change in my mood. The way I see myself, I'm not always like down, or I'm not always putting myself down. I've gained a lot of more energy. I've been able to wake up earlier in the mornings and just get everything done out of the way. Like, I don't know, I've been a lot happier lately. Like, I was able to just be at peace instead of just always like negativity, or always putting myself down, or always like saying no to going out because I was afraid of how other people would see me, or what I would hear from like a stranger or something, or being called a certain name or whatever. Like, all of that kind of just went away when I started my program, because I was just focusing on myself. So that has helped a lot. And then little by little, I'm starting to get my sister in, because she's the one who introduced me to 21 days. And then she got pregnant, and then she had her baby, and then she gained a lot of weight after that. So I'm trying to like work on myself so she can see how much better I've been feeling and how it's been impacting on my life, and just hoping to get her back on board. So, because I see that now that she's in that place that I used to be in.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work my way up.
That's awesome. It's only the beginning, and you're going to start inspiring many more people. So, all right, guys, we have less than a minute. I want to remind all of you right now to go to Google. I know you could search it on the Team Beachbody website, but this Saturday is a nationwide Beachbody event in your city or a city near you. Look up Coach, what is it called? Super Saturday 2016. Look it up, April 2016. Put that in the Google search with your city name and get your butts to a Super Saturday. No matter what, find a friend, tell your sister to go with you, tell your cousin, your brother, your husband. Get your booties to a Super Saturday this weekend. It's going to be life-changing. We talked about events last week. Go look at that video on our team page. And I'll see you guys on the team page. Everybody smile. Yay. All right, guys. Keep shining your lights. Thank you, Krysta. You did awesome. Happy to see you, Kimbra, and the babies. And Abby and Caroline, thanks for supporting Krysta. And Sandra and everybody. Julie, Amanda, Caitlin, Lori.